Dave, what are you doing?
What do you mean?
What's with the helmet?
What helmet?
The Stormtrooper helmet?
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
It's International Star Wars Day.
Oh, yeah. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the FanSlave ManCave. I'm your host, Dane Gumas.
And I'm your co-host, David Emery. And today is a very exciting show because it is our launch show. And Dane, tell them what day it is.
It is International Star Wars Day. May the 4th.
It is.
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you.
Yes, so as you probably guessed, there is going to be a reoccurring theme in today's show. And of course,
what theme would that be?
Star Wars.
Oh,
this is my favorite day of the year next to Christmas Day. I think I even like it slightly more than Christmas Day. This is the day when all the Star Wars fans unite and celebrate the best cinematic achievement of all time.
Definitely. I'm completely with you on the being as good, if not better than Christmas Day. Now, this year, though, I think this is going to be my second place on favourite day of the year because obviously we have The Force Awakens.
Yes, we have The Force Awakens coming in December, which means that my Christmas has gone from December 25th to December 19th.
Oh, yes.
And maybe again on December 25th, but a hell of a lot of times in between the 19th and the 25th, I tell you that now. I'm so excited. So let's tell everybody why we're excited in terms of what's on the show today.
Well, today is just a hell of a treat of a show for us because not only is it our launch show, as we've said, we've been honoured with a very special guest interview.
Yes. We're not going to say who. We're just going to pass the interview on when we get to that stage. But stay tuned. It's a celebrity guest here in the FanSlave ManCave, our first ever guest, and he's amazing.
And couldn't be more relevant to the show either.
Definitely. So, okay, let's kick off by just talking Star Wars.
Let's do it.
You know, it's a Star Wars themed show. Let's talk Star Wars.
So, where do we begin?
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
That's a good place to start.
Come on, man. You can't have that without having that. Yeah, boy. That's what Star Wars is about. So let's talk about our favorite Star Wars films. Okay? No, let's narrow it down to our favorite Star Wars film.
Ooh.
Okay, you go first. This is one for
you
you.
were going to do that to me.
Yeah.
I think it has to be, obviously, original trilogy.
Of course.
Has to be.
Of course.
And for me, I'm going to have to say Jedi. Return of the Jedi has to be my favourite Star Wars film of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Until obviously we've seen The Force Awakens, then I may have to readjust.
Possibly change
but we
our
don't
minds.
know. But for now, it is Return of the Jedi.
Why Jedi? Because that's a very, firm decision. You didn't take long to think about that.
Yeah, I mean, Jedi is the one film that has stuck with me through my life.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen every Star Wars film, and
Of course.
I obviously saw A New Hope and Empire, before Return of the Jedi. But Return of the Jedi is my first memory of Star Wars.
Yeah.
I just remember being at my cousin's flat, having it on, seeing the scene where Luke Skywalker finally enters Jabba's palace.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is such an iconic scene. It stuck with me through my life, and the entire film I think is such an achievement as well.
Completely.
On a whole cinematic level, because you have the wrap up to the story.
Yeah.
You have so many amazing battles.
You do.
We're introduced to the Ewoks for the first time. which, you know, the Ewoks, who doesn't love an Ewok?
I love an Ewok.
Exactly.
Ewoks are cool,
you
man.
can't not love an Ewok. There's, I mean, the battles that you have on the speeders in the Forest Moon of Endor, it blew my mind. So it was my first real passionate memories of Star Wars, and that's why it has to be.
Okay.
So what about you?
Me? Mine is Empire. Empire Strikes Back. I like Empire Strikes Back because I like the tone. I like the character development, and I like I just love the darkness, the intensity of Empire, which you do get to an extent in Return of the Jedi, but it's of course the biggest reveal in cinematic history.
And which would that be?
That would be I am your father.
No! Yeah,
and still to this day, whenever I see that scene, I know what is coming, and I still get goosebumps.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that scene. And it's the darkness of the whole piece. It is very artistically done, and it's done in a believable manner, and it's a struggle. It's an inner moral struggle between the dark and the light, and that is one of the reasons why I'm more of a DC fan than I am a Marvel fan.
Definitely.
I like the darkness, and I like the struggle, and I like to see a character who, you know, through most of the journey has been pretty much on one side, but then he finds out that not only is Darth Vader his father, but he has the chance to rule the Empire. Which way does he go? And that's what I love about Star Wars in general. Star Wars is a story of manhood, a journey from being a child to being restricted, having to work on your aunt and uncle's farm, having dreams and not being able to achieve them, to then having these dreams thrown in your lap and traveling through these trials and tribulations along the road to your dreams and becoming the ultimate man, the hero.
No, I think, I mean, obviously this is why any Star Wars fan loves it, because the story is so compelling. I mean, you don't even have to be a fan of sci-fi films to find it such a good story, because I think that's one place where it really is a massive achievement in cinema, because most sci-fi films, they're sci-fi, that's what it is. You know it's sci-fi, and if you're not a sci-fi fan, you're not going to like it. But you can have, like, non-sci-fi fans, non-fantasy fans, you could have rom-com fans watching this and go, wow, that story, that
spans
brought me in.
generations. How many films, and this is the question, how many films have a day on the calendar dedicated to them? Not many. None, maybe. This is what I'm saying.
I've got one so far.
What?
Star Wars.
Yeah, of course. Of course. The only one is Star Wars. And it's part of who I am. It's part of my moral fabric. It's part of my soul, part of my mind. And it's part of me. And some people who are, in the closet about fandom and their love and passion for being a fan may find that awfully weird and odd. But where I come from, that is the truth, and that's how I feel. Star Wars is ingrained in Dangumas.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same. Every time I look at my DVD collection and I can't decide what to watch, and I think, I'm going to rewatch Star Wars, I get a little bit of excitement about it. I mean, I can rewatch films over and over and not get excited. But every time I pick up the Star Wars DVDs, I'm just like, this is going to be fun. This is going to be amazing. Yeah,
and I mean, Star Wars goes beyond the films and goes to different areas in terms of story. There's the extended universe in the books and the graphic novels. There's the extended universe in the games, which is something that I wanted to talk to you about. Yeah. What is your favorite Star Wars game?
My personal favorite Star Wars game, I'm going to hold my hands up right now and say I've never been much of a PC gamer, so most of the PC games are out of my realm.
So no Knights of the Old Republic?
No Knights of the Old Republic. So I hold my hands up to that, and I may get some stick for it.
You will.
Which, I hold my hands up, I deserve the stick, but I've never been a PC gamer.
Okay.
So
what's your favorite?
My favorite has to be The Force Awakens. Force Awakens?
Maybe. One day.
It will be out. Sorry, that.
Do you mean The Force Unleashed?
I mean the Force Unleashed. See, it's the excitement of Star Wars,
and the constant use of the word Force.
Yeah, Force.
That
Force.
throws you off.
Yeah, no, the Force Unleashed, because
Yes.
you have a totally new story. I mean,
Totally
obviously-
new characters as well.
Yeah, and such a good story. I mean, these games could be turned into films, I think, because again, you have the turmoil within the main protagonist of the games in The Apprentice.
Yeah.
I mean, he starts
Star Killer.
There we go. I mean, even the name just makes you go, oh, this guy is going to be badass. And he is throughout the entire games. How many games can you say you can bring down an Imperial Starfighter with just your bare hands? And, well, not even your bare hands.
The Force Unleashed is, and see now I loved The Force Unleashed. I was working in a game shop when The Force Unleashed came out, and the actual day it came out, I was on holiday, and I was ringing them from Greece saying, "Save me a copy on Xbox 360 and save me a copy on Wii. I don't even have a Wii. I will get a Wii just to see what that's all about." And what I love the most about The Force Unleashed is it's the fact that it's daring, the fact that it's the first time that a user or a player has been allowed to do these wonderful things with the Force, which we've seen in some of the films, but we haven't actually been allowed to live out.
Yeah, because it's not only the wonderful things you can do with the Force, but the dark side of the Force. I mean, obviously we had it in episode 3, the game with Anakin's. Right. But I mean, Anakin. That game was too repetitive to me.
Yeah. Very.
So that was the first time we got to play with the dark side of the Force, but the first time we really got to explore the dark side was the Force Unleashed.
Yeah.
And I mean, graphically
was amazing.
Ahead of its time.
Massively ahead of its time.
The look, the feel, it just, playing it, I could play for hours and hours and just be drawn in and believe that I was in the Star Wars world.
Yeah, I mean, I love the story, but what I loved more than the story was the fact that I could pick up a stormtrooper and put him in the direct path of a starfighter, watch that starfighter hit that stormtrooper, and then grab the next starfighter, like crush it into a ball and throw it
just the amount of things you could do to destroy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, The Force Unleashed 2 was fantastic. It was brilliant, but it hadn't had the same impact that The Force Unleashed had. I remember The Force Unleashed, they said that this is going to be a continuation of the Star Wars universe you know and love. And if you got, like, I don't know if you played I think it's called the Sith Edition. I think it's called the Sith Edition. Don't shoot me. But they let you play the all these massive pinnacle moments in the Star Wars sagas. So you could fight Princess Leia, you can fight Luke, you can fight Darth Maul. That
sounds good.
That even now that's worth going out and getting.
I think going back to The Force Unleashed 2, I think the reason it wasn't quite so good is because we'd done what you could do before on The Force Unleashed.
Yeah.
I still think it was a great game.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. It didn't have quite the same impact.
It was a continuation of the story, and shoot me fans, but the story was more or less the same as the one before. I'm not really a spoiler dude, so I don't want to ruin the end of The Force Unleashed for those of you who haven't played it. Okay, I lied, your character dies. But then he gets remade as a clone, and he has the memories of his previous clone, and it just got sticky and wrong, but it was actually quite a good game
I enjoyed
on its
both
own.
of them. I really did.
But are you looking forward to Star Wars Battlefront?
Yes.
Because Star Wars, when I played Star Wars Battlefront, the original Star Wars Battlefront, that was probably my second favorite Star Wars spin-off game.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to upgrade my console.
Well, you see, I'm beat you there with the PS4 because this. I mean, we saw the trailer. We put it up on the FanSlave ManCave Facebook page.
Yeah.
This game looks unreal. It looks unreal.
To me, it looks like nothing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Just the whole look of it.
Yeah, look of it looks...
I could watch that trailer all day, and I could watch game footage of it, even if I'm not playing the game.
Yeah.
I could look at that because it's a beautiful looking game.
Definitely. But I mean, it would be nice to be able to go back and replay all of those fantastic battles and replay all of those moments again in a high definition world, as well as all of these new battles that are going to be coming our way from Star Wars Episode 7. But right, we can talk all day about this, and we will talk all day about this, believe me.
Oh, yes.
But I think it's about time we handed it over to our special guest. Earlier on this week, we were honored to speak to one fabulous guy.
Oh, please let me do. We were lucky enough to speak to Mr. Bring Back Star Wars, Justin Lee Collins. Now, that was exciting.
And that was exciting, beyond exciting. And this is how it went. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very pleased to announce that we have one of my favorite comedy personalities on the show right now. He is the presenter of the Bring Back series. He's brought back Star Wars, Dallas, Grange Hill, One Hit Wonders. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Justin Lee Collins. Justin, thank you very much for coming on the show today.
You're welcome, Dave. It's an absolute pleasure. Lovely to speak to you.
Oh, thank you very much. So we thought that we would we'd pick your brains about the fantastic. It's actually one of my favorite documentaries ever, and that's Bring Back Star Wars.
Yeah, definitely.
Now that must have been absolutely brilliant to be involved in something like that.
It was a dream. It was an absolute dream, and I remember the whole. I remember all of it very clearly. I mean, it was back in 2007, I think we shot it, and I think it was transmitted in '08, if I remember rightly. But I couldn't, for a start, that job, I couldn't believe my luck. Like the whole bring back, first one we did was Grange Hill, and then we followed that up with the 18, and that it really was just
that's got to be awesome.
Pinch me. Yeah, I couldn't believe it was happening. Just a dream job. And in particular with Star Wars,
definitely.
I was such a Star Wars fan growing up as a kid. I mean, Star Wars was everything to me. It was the first film I saw in the cinema. Very first film I saw. I'm 40 now. I was born in '74, and A New Hope was released in '77. I was 3.
Oh, so that was the real golden age of Star
my grandma
Wars.
took me to see it, and I can't remember which cinema in Bristol it was. It would have been in Bristol. I can't remember the picture house, but my gran took me, and at the age of 3, there's only 2 memories that I have of the whole experience. And the first memory was, obviously, 3 years of age, never been to the cinema before, and it suddenly gets very dark. So when the lights went out, I started to cry, so I didn't know what was happening. So I cried when the lights went out, and then the only image of the film that I remember was C-3PO and R2-D2 walking across Tatooine.
Yeah.
And it was just the brightness of that visual.
So iconic.
It was so searingly bright, and obviously that cutting through the darkness of the cinema, it's the only image of the film that I remember from that time.
Wow, man.
So it was that passion for the project that got it commissioned. Because initially, would you believe, Channel 4 turned it down. Bring Back Star Wars. The commissioner in the sort of entertainment documentary department, who I was good friends with at the time, couldn't really see it. He didn't really want to do it, and he wanted to continue doing bringbacks. And every year, we would only ever do 1 or 2 at a time.
Yeah.
And every year he would say, which ones do you want to do next? And I would have this amazing job where I would sit down and literally write a list of all my favourite films and all my favourite TV shows. There are lots of things, as you can imagine, on that list. Like Miami Vice was on that list.
Yeah, hell yeah.
The Fall Guy was on that list. Cheers was on that list.
Oh, man,
Rocky was on the list. The one at the top of the list, which I kept asking to do every year, and they would never let me do it. And, people ask me, even to this day, what else would you like to bring back? Or what was the one that you never did that you would have liked to have done? And that was The Goonies.
Oh, man, The Goonies
that would
brilliant.
be amazing.
I asked every year that The Goonies was top of the list, and I tried to sell it and talk with passion about The Goonies, but that one we could I could never get them to green light that one. But
that's amazing.
initially-
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
No,
that's fine.
Cool. I was just going to say that the selection that you've just named, the selection that you've written down and you had, is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I'm surprised that they didn't go for the Goonies.
I mean, we were talking about it
I
earlier
know.
on. And
But it's a really weird thing. But you know what it boils down to? It sort of boils down to nothing more than this. And you sort of think, you've got a big network television channel, and you've got like a successful series of sort of standalone sort of documentary films. But the reason why I couldn't get them to greenlight the Goonies simply came down to the fact that my producers on Bring Back, the two main producers, I don't think they'd ever seen it, or because they were both older than me, and I think one of them had sort of seen it, but it kind of didn't really register, didn't really hit him at the time, and I think the other one had never seen it, so they kind of, I didn't have the backup there. They couldn't sort of understand, or they didn't share my passion for it. And likewise, the commissioner at the channel, I don't think he'd ever seen it.
Oh my goodness!
And it's weird, isn't it? That it sort of boils down to that, the fact that they kind of didn't share my passion for it. And the thing with the Goonies is, I mean, I don't know how old you chaps are, but if you were a kid at the time, I mean, when did it come out, the Goonies? Was it 85?
85, 86, yeah.
So when it was first released, I was the perfect age. I was 9. I would have been about 8 or 9 when the Goonies first came out. But I suppose if you were at the time 5, 6 years older than I was at the time, then at that time in the mid 80s, the Goonies probably meant nothing to you.
Yeah.
So do you see what I mean? So if you go forwards, whatever it was, 30 years or 25 years, if you're speaking to someone who would have been in their mid-teens at the time of the Goonies' initial release, they'd be kind of like, well, the Goonies, really? So it's kind of, it's quite a short window. I think if you were, and people have obviously, in recent years have gone back, and the Goonies has kind of been rediscovered, and like my kids have watched the Goonies now and they love the Goonies.
It's brilliant.
So there is that kind of cyclical thing where these things sort of, come back round again.
That's what I mean, truffle shuffle, man. The truffle shuffle.
Sorry, what was that?
I would say the truffle shuffle, like...
The truffle shuffle, I know, exactly.
But
see, and that's the thing, if you were like 9 years of age in 1985, these things, the truffle shuffle means everything.
Yeah.
You know exactly what that is. But
I mean,
I just couldn't get that one away.
Yeah.
I mean, my fiance is constantly trying to get me to do the truffle shuffle for her.
Yeah, see,
we might do it on the show one day. We might get a special one.
see, it's survived generations. It's survived generations. But see, that's the
The
thing.
truffle shuffle.
I mean, we might get it on the show one day, but it's a long way off yet.
But that's it, Justin. I mean, I'm 27 years old, so I wasn't around when the first Star Wars film came out. Sadly, I haven't had that wonderful experience of being able to watch it in the cinema for the first time. Me and Dave are the era of the prequels, which leads me to my next question, right? What did you, as a hardcore, original trilogy fan, what did you think of the Star Wars prequels?
Hated them.
Yes.
Hated them. I've got no time for them whatsoever. I
Thank you.
cannot bear them.
Thank
I
you.
actually wish that they didn't exist.
Yes.
No, we're with you there. I mean, we particularly take hate more to episode 3.
Yeah, episode 3 was diabolical.
Guys, I can't bear them. Don't even talk to me. I don't even
See, now that is
I don't give a monkeys about Darth Maul.
Yeah. Oh, see, that is.
It's funny.
Yeah.
That's it.
When the Phantom Menace was on television again fairly recently, and I watched it again, not in its entirety. I think I caught it at some point during the film, and I watched the end of the film. And I remember when I first went to the cinema to watch the Phantom Menace, I didn't like it, but I quite enjoyed the final battle with Darth Maul. And I thought, well, okay, I quite like the ending, and I thought that bodes well for the next film. So maybe the Phantom Menace, the whole thing's just been a slow build, a setup for the next 2 prequels.
Yeah.
But even now, when you go back and I watch that battle with Darth Maul, even that's rubbish. I can't bear it. I cannot bear it.
It is. I completely agree.
I think it's the pacing of it for me. It's the laser screens. We're gonna have a little bit of a burst, and then we're gonna spend 5 minutes just looking at each other like caged animals.
It looks like already it's dated. Films are dated.
Horribly.
That's exactly what I was going to say. If you put the prequels next to the originals, the originals still stand up to this day. They stand up perfectly.
Yeah.
And the prequels seem to have this kind of tacky feeling to them in terms of, I don't know about you, but when I watch the original Star Wars trilogy, I mean, it's a sci-fi, so you don't expect, Oscar award-winning performances, but they were still fantastic from all of the cast.
Yeah.
But you watch the prequels, and it feels as if they're trying to grab for something that just isn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, completely.
I mean,
But I'm really excited because I think just the first trailer
Yes.
to The Force Awakens, just the first trailer that they put out, that alone, that whatever it was, just over a minute, wasn't it, that first trailer?
Yeah.
That alone is better than anything in the three prequels.
Well,
Definitely.
I mean, you've got in that
I'm
first
so
minute.
excited.
In that first minute as well, you've got the nod to the original with the stormtrooper standing up in what we can only assume is Tatooine.
Absolutely.
Just that little nod. I think we watched it together, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we both of us went from we're excited to real jaws on the floor. Oh my god!
And see, I think for me the excitement has come from the fact that I came to terms with a few years ago that I was never going to see another Star Wars film. Showing my children. I would have to, of course, edit which ones I showed them and show them only the good stuff. But for them never to have that frenzy that the world gets into when a Star Wars film is upon us. And finally, we get to relive that and it's back. And for once, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, J.J. Abrams may have nailed this.
Yeah.
May have nailed this.
Man for the job. He's the perfect. I mean, the only other person I can think of that I would like to see handling or involved with a Star Wars film would be Guillermo del Toro.
Yes, definitely.
But I think J.J. Abrams is the most perfect man for the job, and thank God Lucas sold the franchise.
Yes.
Thank God.
I mean,
Because
I'm sorry, Justin.
carry on, please.
Yeah, I've got to admit, when I think we were both the same with this as well. When I first heard that Disney had got the rights to it, I kind of bowed my head to thinking this isn't going to do great because it's Disney. They're going to orientate it towards the kids, but they seem to have it real sort of old school fan oriented. I think I'm now excited.
I think I'm even expecting it. To be darker. I look at it and I'm noticing as well that the problem with the prequels was George Lucas had the keys to the kingdom and no one was going to tell him no. He had special effects that he didn't have during the original trilogy and he just went crazy. He was like a kid in a candy store and there was CGI stuff that didn't need to happen. I mean, I don't know. I just want to get your thoughts on this, Justin. One particular character that everybody hates, but I want to hear your point of view. Jar Jar Binks. Where do you stand on Jar Jar Binks? Honestly.
Oh, God. I loathe him.
Oh, I thought you said you love him. I was going to go, whoa.
No, I loathe him.
Oh, good, good.
Loathe. It's just god-awful. It's the worst. But, listen, for me, guys, it's not about, let's not single, there's no need to single out Jar Jar. I mean, Jar Jar is just the poster boy for what is just a diabolical series of films. He's the poster boy. But let's not lay it all on Jar Jar's very slim shoulders.
No, I mean, they did have Hayden Christensen.
I mean, I was going to say we haven't touched Anakin yet.
We haven't touched Anakin yet.
I mean,
I'll tell you what, though, guys. What I'm really going back to the tone of the new films. When I watch the new trailers and the most recent one, it blows me away. It's phenomenal.
Yes.
My theory, my feeling is that they'll be as dark as Empire.
I pray.
Amazing.
If you look at the trailers again, the footage that we're being shown so far, it looks like Empire. It feels like Empire.
It does.
I think it's going to have the darkness of The Empire Strikes Back, which is hands down my favourite Star Wars.
Yeah, I
film.
mean,
Hands down.
you've just got to look at the new Sith lightsaber.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
like the flamethrowers from the sides. That, I mean, my jaw hit the floor when I saw that.
Yeah,
I know.
It's and I have to hand it to Disney. I thought that they weren't going to try to be creative whatsoever, and they were just going to work with what they have.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah.
of course, they've got a lot. There's a vast universe, Star Wars extended universe, but they've created, certain the lightsaber. I can't remember off the top of my head, but the new droid, and it excites me that they're trying to keeping
the
it
little ball.
Yeah, they're keeping it old school, but they're bringing in new elements, which is something I didn't really expect from Disney. I thought they'd play it safe.
I think they're being respectful to the fans. It's showing massive
completely.
respect.
And also, there's an awful lot of pressure on Disney to get it right,
Yeah.
because obviously it's cost them to buy it. It's cost them billions of dollars,
Yeah.
and if they get it right, it will earn them billions and billions of dollars.
Oh,
Tenfold.
So there's
yeah.
a pressure on Disney, and they brought the right man in. They brought in a fan. There's no one better. There's no one better out there right now. They've got the right man.
Definitely.
And it seems at least like he's got creative control, which is the best thing.
Yeah, that definitely is something that needs to happen. Especially J.J. Abrams. He's done such a good job of the Star Trek franchise. He's
An incredible job. It all bodes well. I'm so excited.
Definitely.
I was disappointed last weekend because I got two little boys and I made them promise that they would go and see Avengers with me.
Oh.
And they went with their mum and their grandpa.
Oh.
I'm really upset. Like 40-year-old man, I'm really upset.
That would upset me.
I promise that when December comes, they'll go and see The Force Awakens with their dad.
Oh yeah. See, my son
I've
is.
got a pinky promise on it.
Yeah, oh, definitely. See, my son's just he's 14 months now. So by the time the film comes out, oh, thank you, man. By the time the film comes out, he's probably just gonna be at that age where he can not really understand what's going on, but enjoy the lights and the sound.
Yeah.
But when my girlfriend was pregnant and she told me, well, we found out it was going to be a boy. That was the first thing that came into my mind. I said that he is coming to watch Star Wars Episode 7 with me in the cinema, and that is what good parenting is all about.
Absolutely, I'm with you. I'm completely with you. See, here's the thing: 1977, 37 years ago, and I still remember C-3PO and R2-D2 and Tatooine. I mean, that's all I remember from that first viewing, but I still remember it, and I was 3. So
yeah, I mean, I haven't got kids, but I have got a 10-year-old nephew and a 5-year-old nephew, so they're gonna be coming along with me, definitely.
Oh, it's so exciting. I cannot wait. And the thing, I cannot wait to see Hamill.
I know.
I mean, and I love the fact. Do you know what I really love? And also, this directly links back to bring back Star Wars and my experience of making that doc and the trouble that we had right for weeks and probably even months before I was even involved directly in it, of trying to get Mark Hamill, trying to track him down, trying to pin him down to get him to agree to like at least an interview with us.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the fact that we couldn't get him absolutely killed me.
Yeah.
And I love the fact, this is another big positive for me, I love the fact that we still haven't seen Luke. Holding back on Luke. Like we've seen Harrison Ford, we've seen Chewbacca, he's still holding back on Luke.
Good.
And of course it would seem that we are seeing Luke. He's just cloaked and, we see what appears to be a robotic hand on R2.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he's holding back on Hamill.
I don't want to see it until I'm in the cinema.
No,
I don't want to see Luke until I'm in the
same.
cinema.
Yeah, I don't want to see any trailers with him.
Because Mark Hamill's, I mean, there's probably, privately, I could, we'll have to have, unfortunately, another conversation that we can't broadcast.
Yeah,
because there's a whole story with Hamill that we were told by other people, colleagues of his and other people that were involved in Star Wars, there's a whole story that we wanted to tell that for various reasons we couldn't tell, but it's a fascinating story, and I think it's, generally speaking, I think it's a well-known thing that Mark Hamill's relationship to Luke and to Star Wars over the years, certainly up to this point, has been a very difficult one.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean,
for me, it's all about Hamill, and I cannot wait to see him in that film. I'm so excited.
I'm exactly the same as you, Justin. I really can't wait to see how Luke has grown as a character, and now that they've kind of abandoned their well, they haven't abandoned it, but they've placed their extended universe separately from the new extended universe they're creating. I want to see where he falls into place in this new universe.
Absolutely.
And whether or not I really was hoping that he'd opened his own Jedi Academy. I thought that I'm hoping they.
Completely.
I hope they kept that element.
It's just the Luke. I mean, Luke's the story. Luke
Yes.
is the linchpin for me of the whole thing.
Definitely.
And he's the most. And Mark Hamill's story is just the most fascinating story. I mean, you've got he was 19. He was a kid.
Jeez,
he
man.
was 19 years of age. Carrie Fisher was 21.
Wow.
Mark Hamill was 19.
That's the same age as my partner now.
Obscurity to be the absolute star of this franchise, and of course, Harrison Ford became a huge star.
Yeah, that's got to
I love Harrison Ford with all my heart, and I love Han Solo, and I got just as excited as every other Star Wars fan in the world to see Han and Chewie together at the end of the
oh my gosh!
trailer.
I mean,
I think I might just explode when we see Hamill.
See, no, definitely, I'm with you on that. But seeing Harrison Ford and Chewbacca at the end, absolutely, I can't describe it. Unfortunately, it's ironic and typical that I've been waiting for a second trailer for months, and the one time I get it, I'm at work with a bunch of non-nerds. And I'm sorry, I was in the middle of a transaction with a customer, and I'm just scrolling through my phone, and bam, new Star Wars trailer, and I literally I didn't know what to do.
Yeah. I think the first thing you did was I think you emailed me saying, "Dude, get round here tonight. We've got the new Star Wars trailer."
And I almost I know you can relate to this as a fan. I know Dave can relate to this as a fan, but there's this feeling you only get from a Star Wars film or trailer. This excitement that brings you back to being 5, 10, 12 years old, that makes nothing else in the universe matter at that particular moment in time. And I'm so lucky and I'm so happy that I'm allowed to feel that again. And I'm just hoping to God that this turns out to be the new original trilogy for this generation. I'm really hoping that.
I really think it will be. I honestly, just the level of excitement, it goes so far beyond what we were all feeling for the prequels. You know, before any of us got to see the Phantom Menace. It's just that to the power of 100. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's a lot bigger. It's going to be massive.
I mean,
and I think it's going to live up to the expectation. I really do.
I think this is like, this could be, no, I don't think this is going to overhype it, but I think this could be the standalone cinematic event of our generation. I'm hoping for it. I'm praying for it. You know, I
agree.
There's very few events.
If the trailers are anything to go by. I mean, after the first one came out, I started to hear all the rumours, and the main one being that when we see the guy in the cloak walking away from camera and the saber, the rumours started circulating that that's Luke. That's Luke. That's Luke, and that literally, I've got goosebumps now.
Yeah. I mean, we know that in one thing that I'd love to ask you is, we know from the films Luke had the decision to make between the light side and the dark side. If you were put in his position, which side would you lean towards?
Good question.
Well, that's a great question.
That's a good question.
See, Darth Vader is so awesome.
As Darth Vader rather than Anakin.
He's just, I mean, it's hard to turn him down. I mean, you'd be conflicted as Luke was. But as Luke did, I would like to think that I would see the light.
See, I think I'm on the other side.
You know what? If it was, it's Luke that makes me want to join the light. And I think every other character, and I'm sorry to say, Obi-Wan is one of my favorite characters, but he wasn't the one who wanted me to be the hero.
No.
It was Luke that pushed me towards the light. Now, we have such a very iconic and strong villain in Darth Vader that kind of makes me want to explore the dark side. So yeah, I'm in both. I'm in both. I guess it will be a spontaneous decision at the time.
So, I mean, for me, I'm firmly in the Sith Lord section, because more than anything, there's exclusivity. One master, one apprentice. You know, Jedi's 10 to the penny.
Yeah.
And as well, you can't learn lightning fingers with the light side.
Yeah.
I'd love to shoot lightning from my hands.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm firmly in the dark side.
Yeah. Well, Justin, there's one thing. No, sorry, no. Carry on, man.
No. I was going to say the most interesting thing for me was always the conflict within Luke.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, he could have gone, he could have been turned, and there was always that confliction there, which was fascinating and interesting.
I hope for the turn.
Yeah, and it was the writing was done so well that throughout the entire saga, there were moments when you doubted that he was going to be the hero in the end, and I have to hand it to the writers that, you know, the fact that the reveal of Darth Vader being his father, not pushing him to the dark side is incredible. Yeah. It really, really is. But I wanted to ask you, what was it like to, you know, when you did bring back Star Wars, what was it like to be in the same room as Carrie Fisher? Like, what was that like?
Yeah.
I mean, probably whenever I've been asked in the past, you know, what's your favourite interview or your favourite moment from the Bring Back films, it has to be that afternoon that I spent with Carrie Fisher at her house.
Dude was in her house.
I mean, that looked the most interesting place in the world to be.
I've got a list of like my favourite, and obviously Mr. T is up there when we did Bring Back the 80s.
Yeah.
Larry Hackman, J.R. Ewing when we did Bring Back Dallas, and I have to say as well, I mean, it breaks my heart to say it now, Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah, man.
When we did Bring Back Star Trek, I mean, it's like all of those greats would be up there. T, Nimoy, J.R., I mean, amazing. But I think if I have to pick one, all in, it would be Carrie Fisher. It's just quite possibly the best interview I've ever done, the best experience of doing a celebrity interview that I think I've ever had. She was just amazing and so gracious and so giving. Yeah. We went to her home, and she lives. I mean, if you're a fan of old Hollywood, she lives in Bette Davis's old house.
Wow, crazy!
That's so Hollywood crazy. Legend Bette Davis.
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher lives in the former Hollywood home of Bette Davis, and she also lives, Carrie Fisher, right next door to her mum, and her mum is a famous actress called Debbie Reynolds.
Yeah.
Who was in Singing in the Rain.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Amongst many other things. So at one point when we're setting up, Debbie Reynolds drives by in the car and gives us all a wave, like Hollywood legend.
Yeah, royalty. Yeah.
So it was an unbelievable experience, and the best bit for me, because it was such a beautiful day in Los Angeles, this day that we rock up to Carrie Fisher's house, and once she agreed to be interviewed by me, my cameraman wanted the interview to be out in the garden, because of, lovely garden, beautiful day, make the most of the location and the sunlight. Let's do the interview outside. So it took them about an hour and a half to set up and to get ready for the interview. So I had 90 minutes before the interview on my own with Carrie Fisher.
Oh my goodness!
And she gave me a guided tour of her house.
That's incredible, man. That is incredible.
Telling me things that she, asked me not to ask her on camera.
Oh, man.
I'll do this one-on-one, but I can't say it on camera for obvious reasons. So I got all of this information that I would have loved to have put into the film, but we just couldn't. So I'm getting a tour of her house. She's showing me all of her personal memorabilia. She showed me a figurine of Leia. I think she was wearing, obviously, the ultimate Leia outfit, the Jedi bikini. And I think the figurine, Leia had her breasts exposed.
Yeah.
And she'd been sent that recently. I think it was her last birthday or a recent birthday. She'd been sent it by George Lucas.
Oh, wow. That's a hell of a gift to get.
So she's showing me all of this memorabilia. I mean, she had like Star Wars curtains, I think, in her bathroom.
Yeah, I remember seeing that on the documentary.
And I've still got it. Obviously, I'll never part with it. And I've still got a lot of Star Wars. I've still got all my Star Wars toys. Obviously, they're now in the possession of my little boys.
Oh,
but
wow.
I've never gotten rid of any of my stuff, with one exception. Exception that is. And she gave me a bar boxed of Ewok soap. I've still got it.
Oh, wow, man, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, that leads to my next question that I'd love to ask is, you've met in your career all these amazing celebrities. Have you ever been starstruck?
Oh my God, absolutely. Pretty much every time. But certainly every time I've been lucky enough to interview someone who I love and admire. So totally starstruck when I met Mr. T, when I interviewed Mr. T. And if you go back on YouTube and you look at the clips of the Mr. T interview, you can see it. I mean, that comes across. I'm just completely. I can't believe I'm sitting in front of him. I'm nervous. Oh, you can see it. Completely starstruck when I met Mr. T, Carrie Fisher, JR, Leonard Nimoy, totally starstruck. That happens very often. Linda Gray, who played Sue Ellen in Dallas, completely starstruck and a little bit in love. I would fall in love very easily with many of these interviews.
I can imagine.
Carrie Fisher again.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's crazy.
The thing that I would add to that as well, as an interviewer, I think you should be nervous. I've said this in the past.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I never ever got to the stage where I felt comfortable interviewing like a superstar.
Yeah.
And I never think you should, because I think you lose something.
Yeah,
I think as an interviewer, if you ever get to the stage where you start to think, well, I'm comfortable because I'm on TV. I think you've lost something of yourself.
Definitely.
You should always be a fan. You should always be a fan, and you should always be starstruck, and you should always be nervous.
Yeah.
And if you're not, then I think you've got to look at yourself and think, well, okay, what am I getting out of this? What am I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not a journalist. I don't come from a journalistic background. Journalists are different.
Yeah.
If you're a journalist, if you're a writer, that's a different thing. But I'm a fan. That's where I'm coming from.
Hell yeah.
So I should always be nervous. It's entirely appropriate
Yeah, right.
to be nervous and to be starstruck.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I never ever wanted to get to the stage as an interviewer where I felt comfortable with my guest.
Yeah. I mean, you should literally, before we started this interview, you should have seen us sort of waiting, and we've been sort of bouncing around the studio like we really sort of trying to plan everything out, hoping that everything's gone well. And it's an amazing feeling. I don't know about you, Dane, but I've absolutely loved the feeling of our first star interview with someone who we both really respect and look up to because of just what amazing things you've done in your career. It's been amazing.
You're very kind and very lovely to me, Buck. If this is the start, trust me, it's only going to get better.
Oh,
Things
man.
are looking up for you.
But
thank you so much.
Thank you. But thank you so much for taking time to come and speak to us. I mean, as Dave's touched on, I can't really describe to you how fantastic it feels to be speaking to you, and how fantastic it feels to be speaking to somebody on a level who is also as big a fan of Star Wars as I am.
Yeah.
And
thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure. I'll come on and speak to you anytime.
Oh, thank you so much, Justin.
I love it.
Thank you so much. And again, I just really wanted to get out there to the fans, especially, that Justin has been fantastic to us, and
Yeah.
and we're very, very grateful to have him on the show. And you can catch him on Fubar Radio. Tell us a bit about Fubar Radio, if
Yeah,
you would, Justin.
yeah.
Well, Fubar is a totally unregulated radio station.
Excellent.
So I'm about to switch to an evening show, but I started work there March of last year, so I've been there just over a year. I was doing a daily drive time show, and now I've just gone down to doing a couple of shows a week, 4 till 7. But as of next week, so next Tuesday, I'm not sure what the date will be. Is it the 5th?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
best. Yeah.
So actually, it's the day after International Star Wars Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. If you were watching this today, then it's tomorrow. Tuesday is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I'll be on 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. So I'm going to be doing an evening show, 7 till 9, every Tuesday, every Thursday on Fubar. We can talk about whatever we want. So if I wanted to do a 2-hour show, for example, where we just talk about Star Wars, we can do it. That's
that's brilliant.
That's amazing.
Unregulated radio. There's no advertising. There's no news. There's no travel. There's no weather. It's 75% talk. It's mostly comedy, and we can talk about what we want. Within legal parameters, we can say whatever we want. And
Excellent.
when I do play a record, I can play whatever I want. So
Oh, yes.
it's a dream.
Real radio right there.
It
Real
is.
radio.
Brilliant.
It's how radio is supposed to be, man. That's fantastic. Well, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
Oh, you're welcome, boys. Honestly, I should be thanking you. Thank you so much for having me on. I feel honoured that I'm your first guest.
Thank you,
and
man.
I love what you're doing.
Thank
I
you.
just had it.
Thank you
I'm
so much.
so excited that you're doing what you're doing. And trust me, it's going to get better. I hope you get loads more guests and loads more interviews because you deserve to.
Yeah,
It's
thank you
really
so much,
great
man.
what you're doing.
I mean, from myself, we want to thank you as well for all the support you've given us on Twitter as well.
Thank
I mean, you're one of our most avid retweeters and favourites. I mean, you've really done a lot for us, especially with this interview as well. So, really a deep, wholehearted thank you for that.
Thank you very much, Justin.
Anytime. And, let me just say, if you never know, I mean, stranger things have happened, but if I ever get a call and they let me bring back the Goonies, you'll be the first to know.
Oh,
Thank you,
I
man.
hope they
Thank
do.
you.
Thank you very
You'll
much,
be
man.
the first to know.
Thank you very
That's
much,
amazing.
Justin. What a fantastic interview.
Yeah, definitely.
What a brilliant interview.
What a brilliant way to start the show.
Absolutely. And what a fantastic guy.
Definitely.
Love that guy.
Yeah.
And remember, guys, you can catch Justin Lee Collins on Fubar Radio. Download the app, bitches.
It's a great listen.
Definitely
It really
is.
So, Dane, obviously, as the more keen-eyed fans would have noticed, we've been joined on the table now by... well, tell us, what have we been
A few
joined by?
friends. Obviously, Star Wars branches far beyond just films. We have merchandise right here.
So that's what this is.
We were going to go into graphic novels and comics and books and stuff, but I've got so many books and comics that I don't think that we will have enough time.
No.
So merchandise, we just put a few things on the table that we have around the man cave, and
Yeah.
we have so much Star Wars stuff. We have a Star Wars shrine just over there.
We really do.
It consists of statues and lightsabers and burning incense. It is literally, this is the cream of the crop, though we have a hell of a lot more. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
which we'll explore everything that we have in the man cave, which our merchandise is.
that's another special show at
yeah.
some point. But I mean, I just wanted to let the fans realize how lucky we are to be able to have such wicked memorabilia. I mean,
Yeah, I
Star Wars is known for its fantastic memorabilia.
Yeah. I mean, what else are you going to get an R2-D2 phone from?
An R2-D2 phone. And just a little shout out to my brother who got me this years ago. I've still got it, bro. I still got it. I haven't exactly used it as a phone, but I've still got it, and that's the main thing. So thank you for that. And I mean, we picked up little things for like specifically for the man cave.
Yeah.
One of them being your favorite Stormtrooper.
This guy is pretty fun.
Yeah, that is a master replica Stormtrooper helmet that's made to scale and to size. So that is the size of a helmet that a Stormtrooper would have worn on set.
Which also excites me because I am the same size as a stormtrooper.
Yeah, I think most people are, believe it or not. We can all be recruited. It's It's a beautiful piece. It is one of my favorite pieces next to the R2D2 phone.
Yeah, I think it's one of my favorite pieces that we have.
Absolutely love it. This little statue of Vader. This little statue of Vader started a craze for me, man. A crazy craze. You can't see this, but we have display cabinets here full of extremely expensive statues and memorabilia. And it was this bad boy that kicked off the statue craze that led to these cases being full. So that's my little Darth Vader bad boy, who sometimes holds my house keys in his force grip claws, which is pretty darn cool.
It's a pretty good use.
Yeah, and of course we've got our furry Yoda, who is just fantastic. But I mean,
great.
The thing that I really wanted to get across is just the vast array of Star Wars memorabilia, toys, and stuff. I mean, one other piece I just wanted to show quickly.
Yeah, of course.
And this was bought for me by my girlfriend. And
yeah, he has a girlfriend.
Yeah, and you know it's love when your girlfriend buys you something like this. Now, this is still in its wrapper, and it's not in its wrapper necessarily to preserve its beauty. It is to do that. But this is more than just a picture. This is a pilgrimage. And
Indeed.
This is what we're going to do. One day, we are going to, either at a Star Wars convention, sci-fi convention, or if it means pitching a tent outside of his house for months on end,
We'll do it.
we are going to get that signed by Mark Hamill himself, and we're doing it for Justin Lee Collins out there. We are doing it for JLC. Mark my words, JLC, whether it's in a week, 2 weeks, 2 years, a millennia, we're going to get it done, and it's going to be right here, and it's going to say, to JLC, with love, I'm sorry for not making it onto your TV show. I'm an idiot, Mark Hamill.
That's going to happen. That's the goal.
It was a bring back Star Wars, bring back JLC. Definitely, man.
Definitely.
Now, that leads us to the end of the first launch show, the only launch show.
Yeah, I mean, we don't get to do this again.
We
so
don't get to launch again. You get to land, but you don't get to launch again.
No.
But yeah, thank you very much for joining us. We are so happy to be here. It's a personal achievement to both me and to Dave.
It's been a long road, and let's not forget we've had some help from some incredible people along the way just to help us get here. You know, I want to give a personal thanks from the both of us to an amazing artist that we've met, Mr. Russ Ellingham. He's incredible. Find him on Facebook. He's the man who made the FanSlave ManCave logo for us. He's an incredible artist. And he did it so quickly and with the smallest amount of kind of advice from us. It's like the guy read our souls. So this guy's a genuine fan, and as well, he's done it for us for free. He did this because he believed in the project. So it's people like that have helped us.
So thank you so much, Russ. Check him out. He is amazing. I would like to thank my father, my pops out there. Big up yourself. You know you gave birth to a good one. Well, you didn't give birth, but you helped. But yeah, thank you very much for your contribution to the Man Cave. Thank you very much to my grandmother. You've been fantastic. Thank you for your contribution, and thank you for encouraging me to be an absolute nerd. Thank you very much. And also, I think
let's not forget our long suffering, beautiful girlfriends who have to put up with our nerdiness 24/7 and haven't hung us yet. So,
not yet. There's still time.
Yeah. So a massive thank you to Amy.
And most of all, thank you to you guys out there. Thank you to our fans, our fan slaves. Remember that you can like us on our Facebook page.
You can follow us on Twitter at FanSlave ManCave.
And if you are the sophisticated type and like a little bit of reading, then check out our WordPress page. It has some fantastic articles all surrounding games. And soon there'll be articles on merchandise, films, books, graphic novels, all that crap, man. Check it out. And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe. Thank you guys very much. And please tune in to our next show.
We'll see you next time.
From the FanSlave Man Cave. Bye!
Bye!